Hello learners, welcome to the BA second class of English again. So we were doing the poem Thoughts in a Garden by Andrew Marvell. It is the official YouTube channel of the Department of English, Government College Sirohi, and I am your teacher Renuka Verma. So far we have done the text reading of the poem and the first half of the poem is already done. In today's video, we're going to discuss the last part of the poem. So in the earlier stanza, in the previous stanza, he talked about the sensuous pleasure that he seeks in the company of nature. Then in the sixth stanza, he argues that this pleasure, the pleasure which is provided by the nature, is moreover mental. So he's talking about the mental pleasure. Here he uses an odd metaphysical philosophical idea that the mind contains another world and garden as well as inside it. So the mind has its own mental garden that has various images of its own. And further he says that he claims that this pleasure has a spiritual aspect also. So he by and by he is developing the idea of the physical pleasure from mental pleasure and from at last to the spiritual pleasure, and he claims that it has a spiritual aspect also, and the speaker romanticizes how he feels using the biblical image of the Holy Spirit. He says that he feels as if his soul is singing and gliding from tree to tree as a bird, combing its feathers and preparing for the eternal flight of salvation. So when he is mesmerized by the physical, the mental and the spiritual satisfaction and the spiritual pleasure in the company of nature, his soul seems to be gliding from tree to tree as a bird and preparing its plumes for the eternal flight towards salvation. So he is spiritually elated. The poet, the speaker, is spiritually elated in the company of nature. So in the last part of the poem, the third part, and from stanza 8 to 9, he talks about the genuine pleasure which is not possible without the company of nature. So he is making a concluding remark. The speaker compares himself with the lonely Adam in Eden. So he is again giving a biblical allusion where he compares himself when he is alone in the garden. He feels like he is like Adam when he was lonely in the Garden of Eden. So he argues that being lonely was the second paradise, the heavenly state, the Garden of Eden. But for Adam, it was all spoiled when Eve entered the Eden, the Garden of Eden. So she brought about the fall. So what does he try to say? He just trying to say is that solitude and loneliness is the eternal, is the spiritual and the divine satisfaction which could not be found in the company of man. And in the ninth stanza, the speaker thanks God for creating a unique world of its own, that is the garden. So he is giving the imagery of the natural clock that is followed by the nature itself, and the garden or the nature in general has its own time and its own clock. The rush and the hurry of the society does not apply here. So the clock, the 24 hours clock of the society, of the man, does not apply to the nature. The nature has its own calendar and its own clock. So even the sun seems to have its own sweet course, its own sweet course of time in nature. The garden is therefore the only source of the true physical as well as mental and the spiritual satisfaction, the eternal and the divine satisfaction and repose which is there in the garden, which the speaker is feeling, and he is elated in the company of garden and garden in particular and the nature in general. So the poem is all about the physical, the mental and the spiritual pleasure that man can seek in the company of nature rather than in the busy companies of man. So it provides a striking contrast between the two, between nature and and the society. So please go through the poem again. Enough for today. Thank you.